Good Sunday afternoon. What is going on, guys? It is your girl LP, and we are back for our second episode of the Sunday Sit-Down. Today, we are going to discuss something that you guys might already know. Maybe you don't know. Not 100% sure. But today's topic is going to kind of walk you through learning how to claim your artist Google Knowledge panel, what that is and how that helps you as an artist, as well as giving you the links that we talked about um, in the last stream for BMI, how to claim your artist like Spotify or Apple, all of that stuff. Pretty much equals levels of verification so people can confirm that you are who you are and this is the artist that I am looking for. What's going on, Ty? Good to see you. Hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing good. Let me get my share screen stuff set up here so that you guys are going to be able to see what I'm doing in real time as we kind of walk through these steps for artists. What's going on, Larry Love? Good to see you. I hope you guys are good. Today will probably be a little bit of a shorter stream unless you guys end up having questions. I just want to get this information out there. One thing I do want to point out for you guys is in the description of this particular live is some very useful links from the previous Sunday and all the stuff that we talked about in regard to royalties, and a few other links that we had talked about. Those are all available to you in the link description and will stay available on the YouTube channel. So make sure if you want to run that back, you certainly can and find all that information in the description pretty much of every video on any platform. YouTube, I just think, is the better one to kind of watch on. So what's going on, Diggy? Good to see you. Diggy, you are more than welcome. If you do want to hop on, you certainly can. But if I forget anything, you can kind of like just jump in and let me know. So first things first, let me just get this pulled up here. So my question for everybody that's tuned in is, do you currently have your Google Knowledge Panel claimed? And if you don't, why? No, no, but do you know what a Google Knowledge Panel is? You know, what it tells people when they search you? What's going on, James? Diggy said he's all set. But I am interested to know if you are verified and have your Google Knowledge Panel claimed. If you don't, it's totally fine. It's just one of those extra things that you can do to make sure that across the board, everything is consistent. And this is kind of what people can look up and be like, okay, this person has music on this, and this, right? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. You're going to see a few things on the screen. And I'm kind of waiting for the Facebook comments to start showing up. Hold up, let me make sure I have this out enough because they haven't started processing just yet. So if you need me to stop, let me know. Diggy said I'm gonna join, but I'm gonna let you run it. Okay, no worries. Ty said I'm not sure if I do. I don't think so. James said no, but when you put in my name, it all pops up. Even if you put in your name and it all pops up, the knowledge panel is a lot easier for everybody to get their information all in one place. And it doesn't really take that much. So let's go ahead and we're going to Google Ty the Tyrant, right? So let me share my screen real quick. Bear with me. You're going to see my stream stuff. So we are going to, right now I have mine up. Okay. I'm going to zoom in on this. What's going on? Edward, been a Google artist for like a year. All right, cool. So you're set. So we're going to deal with everybody else who doesn't have this set up. All right. So what I did is sometimes you may have to Google it. If I just Google lyrically poetic, a whole bunch of other stuff ends up coming up. I usually add the musical artist at the end because you don't see the panel. You don't see that information. So you go up here and you would type in lyrically poetic, musical artist. And then you go to this right over here, which says to see results about Lyrically Poetic. And then boom, there is my knowledge panel. Now, my knowledge panel has some information on it, as you can see, where my music can be found. I'm trying to zoom in so that you guys can see all this. But like I said, you have the information here on where these streaming platforms that you can find my music. Now, if you are not set up to have your music go to certain platforms, you might not see them here. You may not see them here. But in order to claim it, you're going to come down here where this says claim this knowledge panel. So I'm not going to do mine because I've already put in an email to request it. They haven't got back to me yet. But let's try to do Ty the Tyrant and see what comes up. See, so the good thing is he already comes up as a musical artist. Boom. So there's Ty the Tyrant. And he's in the chat right now. Let me just check this real quick, see what you guys are doing. Yep, Diggy, you can call in like 1 second. So we have, oops, where did it go? So we got Ty the Tyrant, and I need to open my Gmail anyways, so just give me a minute. So we have Ty the Tyrant here. You click more services. As you can see, he's on Pandora. I'm not currently on Pandora, so that's a difference that I saw between that one and his. I'm not registered with Pandora, and that's another one that you can take into consideration, because you can even create your own radio station on Pandora that cycles in music that is similar to your music. It tells him what albums he has, what record label he's associated with, and this is all information that he filled out prior to this being that way. Obviously, he has a shit ton of that. And if you look, this is a really good knowledge panel because this breaks down all of his information. Yep, I'm good. He's got his Facebook profile, his YouTube profile, everything. So Ty would need to jump on this page and claim his knowledge panel. So if we're going to click on this, right, it's going to bring you to this page that says to get verified. Okay. He said, oh, nice. I never Googled myself. And you guys should. You should see what comes up. But always do your artist name and then musical artist after it, unless you see it already pop up. Ty has a ton of music already registered, so that could be why his profile is a lot more detailed. But I'm going to get Diggy on for that to see if I can get him to get some more information. So what I'm going to do real quick is if you can go ahead and let me open my Gmail, and I'm gonna have you call in, Diggy, so we can get some information on there. So you can go ahead and ring in, Diggy, whenever you're ready, and we can pull you on and we can get to talking a little bit more about this, because it doesn't stop just at the knowledge or the Google Knowledge panel. You also have to know how to claim your artist Spotify. If you haven't claimed your YouTube music channel yet, sometimes if people do not already have a music channel, when you put your music out for distribution, YouTube will create a channel for you associated with your artist name. So you have to go and claim that and say, this is mine, so that if you put out any other music, you already know where it's going, and you can actually make sure that it's associated with the correct artist. Let me see. Where is Diggy? Diggy needs to call me. Let me see. I'm going to call him and bug him first. Let's see if we can get Diggy on here. Now, remember, in the chat.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can, but I can also hear myself.
All right, let me take the headset off because I figured that good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. So I'm not gonna put you on screen, but I am just gonna let everybody kind of like listen, so it's a little easier for me to like dictate.
That's fine.
Okay, so please bring in anything that I might have missed. I'm on the Get Verified screen right now, so let me go back to that real quick, and we can kind of pick up from there.
Definitely, because I'm watching it live too as you're doing it. So.
Okay. But so we have the. Ooh, that sounds like chips. Whatever that is, please stop. That's loud.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's okay. So we're on the Get Verified page. So you click Get Verified, and then you're just going to fill out information of the entity that you're trying to claim and run through all the questions. It's going to ask you to provide social media information that is associated with you to prove that you are this person. So I'm not going to actually go through here, but I'm going to kind of show, you would type in why you're claiming this music panel because I am the artist, blah, blah, blah. And then you would go to the next page. You actually do have to upload an ID. So they're verifying. It may not be your, obviously you're not claiming something that's not your real name, but that's your artist name. And then you have to upload web profiles, screenshots of the profile, and a few other things. I don't know how long it takes to get verified. I sent mine off, I want to say, damn near a month ago, and they still haven't got back to me yet. But
Really?
yeah,
Dang.
yeah. And I even sent them a reminder email, too. So just one of those things where you kind of have to be patient in regard to, like, where this information is and how long it takes for them to get back. But Diggy, here's my question for you. If you know this, I don't know if you do or not, but we're all kind of like learning together. So on the knowledge panels, that the information that you're seeing is generated based on your distributor, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that is where all that information comes from. If you're not seeing something up there that should be up there, then you may or may not be registered or releasing your music to that particular platform, right?
Yes, exactly. I mean, whatever you give the distributor, basically, it will be in like public forum. So basically, it's just giving out, Google's giving out the information that you give to the distributor.
Right. Um, and then the other thing too is, so everything that goes, you want to get verified on as many platforms as you can. So your Spotify, I'm sure Apple has a way. I think that link was in there that you put too, is right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And a few others. All of those links are in the description of this live. So if you need that information, go ahead and click on it. Go claim all of your profiles. So for like Spotify, let me see. I think it's artists. I just put in like artist Spotify or claim artist Spotify. And you do that through DistroKid. I think that's what Edward had said earlier. You are able to claim it through there. But honestly, Google is like your best friend.
Yeah,
Just
you don't have to go through DistroKid. Everything's through Google. You don't have to actually. I mean, even if you go through a distributor to have
mhm,
your music up there, that's fine. But
yeah,
you used to go to the actual Spotify and Apple Music to claim your page.
right.
So
So Google kind of pretty much covers everything then, right?
yeah, yeah, basically.
That's good. And it's funny too because a lot of people were like, "Oh, I haven't actually Googled myself before." I mean, I I need to do that for other things too. Like I actually haven't actually done that for like the eargasm, right? I haven't claimed
Really?
my No, I haven't. Like I'm behind. Like I'm not all together, guys, and I never claimed to be, but at the same time, it's just, it's one of those things where I just have to get around to it because I got so much going on. But Ty said I just did a request to claim my YouTube. Good. There you go.
There
I,
you go.
it's that simple. It really is. It's not hard at all, and it just takes 5 minutes to do it. It can be time consuming if you're not really sure exactly what you're supposed to be doing, but it's not. It's really not that hard. I think just a lot of people don't know they're supposed to do that.
Right.
I think Spotify was the easiest one for me. I don't know about
Yeah,
y'all,
because
but
it's funny because they kind of have like a Google, when you do like quizzes or like surveys or whatever, they kind of have that Google setup when you're trying to set up your artist profile. Like I think most of them do. So
right. Right. So, do you have anything to add as far as the Google Knowledge Panel? I don't know if when I was starting to first do the live, if you wanted to add anything.
also with the Google Knowledge Panel, when you do actually verify yourself, you can edit anything while you're verifying. So if they made a mistake and spelled something differently or forgot something, you could actually like just say like the example of me and Jasmine's song. They
Hmm.
didn't have our song as me listed as a not a feature artist, but me associated with it. So I had to actually send them the link of the Apple Music to actually make sure that they know about that. So some things don't add on all the time, but you can edit it.
Sure. And then Edwards mentioned, and this is something I haven't heard before. Maybe you know about this. He mentioned something about music X-ray for lyrics. Do you know what that is?
No. I mean, I know you could get your lyrics put on, like if you click the song and you Google it, it actually will pop up with lyrics if you actually search for them. I think like Music Match, they actually work with Google to actually have your lyrics pop up when you actually do search a song, but I
Mm-hmm.
never heard that website.
Okay, so probably similar platforms doing the same thing, just a different company
Probably.
doing it a different way.
Yeah,
And I'll tell you what though, uploading lyrics is annoying. I'm not gonna
it
lie,
is.
especially like on DistroKid. I don't know about you guys, but like you have to have capital at each sentence that starts a sentence, and you can't use any punctuation and blah. Like it is the most tedious shit because when I'm writing my lyrics, I'm not thinking about capitalization. Like I'm just writing that shit. So then I have to copy paste, put it back in. You can't, you have to write the chorus out every line. You can't write like chorus times 3, which it would be so much easier if you could just do that. But I understand why they do it because you have things like when you post music on Facebook, the lyrics will read across the screen if it's registered correctly. But I don't know. So here's my question with that then, Diggy. Like when you enter in your lyrics, when you like say on DistroKid, that because I think they have a sync. They have like the sync lyrics, right?
Yep.
And that's what that is, correct?
Yes, it is, and that is you have to time it really well. Like they have a good like DistroKid has a good system where if you mess up, you could kind of like edge it a millisecond off and everything. But
Mm-hmm.
like Music Match has a perfect system where it is really easier to sync lyrics, but it's still annoying at the same time, like you said.
Right. I mean, anything, even doing it on like YouTube. I had to on YouTube when you're doing the closed captioning.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't ever do the auto one because you don't know if it's actually gonna write your lyrics correctly unless you're like clearly speaking. So you have to match up your lyrics with the timing, and it
Right.
took me like an hour to get a 2 minute and 30 second video completed because it's just that tedious. You literally have to do line by line and figure out how long of a second or two is going to be between each sentence when when the verse changes. So it is kind of
Is
a
it is
go
it
ahead.
a space bar? So every time you try to like go to the next line, you have to hit a space bar or enter something like that to go to the next line? Is it like that?
No, so if you look on like when you go to edit your video and add closed captioning, there's a little
Hmm.
it's like a box. There's a box next to each of your words of what they think they where it should be. And you have to
Gotcha.
it says timing in those boxes already, but you have to adjust them to match your video. And
Wow.
so, yeah. I don't think it's the best system, and I'm sure there's a better one out there, but I don't use it. So,
Right.
we got a question in the chat here. James said, "What if someone else made a Spotify page in your name? Can I claim that?" So that is a really good question because I'm not always 100% sure. When you that's when you have to stop when you're about to make your artist name and be like, okay, how what is my name going to be, or am I going to keep my actual name? Because like, what do artists do in that situation when there's 10, 15 other James Browns?
Yes. So I had like what I said with the last episode. They made me another Diggy Diamond page because again with the spelling it has to be specific.
Yeah,
So with that being said, anybody can make a page because you didn't know how to distribute something and then they distribute it for you and now you have a page and you still can claim it because you still have to go like I said through the process of claiming your knowledge page. They're gonna ask for ID because they're gonna want to make sure that you are who you are at the end of the day also too. But still if someone is using your page like using your artist name to put up your music you could always take it down, you could always request to take it down because you didn't consent that. So I mean it could go either way, like if you're giving consent to someone to make your artist page for you and you want to actually claim your page and actually have the backlog of it, then sure, that's fine. It's no really big thing you
yeah.
know
Because I mean, how many James Brown? Like, because you have to think about it. If I
yeah,
go and search James Brown, I'm gonna get who do you think is gonna come up?
right,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly
Like,
my
who do you think
point.
is gonna come up? So you could either do it, and I know that he has like maybe a label name or something, or Fish Tank Entertainment or something like that. So maybe you register it under that and
Right,
function as an artist under that as opposed because that's a little bit more easier to like search for than
right.
James Brown, who we know is gonna have a million hits, but mainly on that one James Brown. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And also you got to think about it too, that everybody that's on a label like majors, they don't even own their artist page. Labels do. So,
Right. They don't claim them. It's all falls under that. Which yeah.
right.
Oh, so Edward said he does his music. He does music match lyrics on the phone, and it's just a tap to the beat type of sync. That sounds really easy. I'm gonna have to look into that. Is that what you were talking
Yeah.
about, Diggy?
Yeah, that I did it on the phone once. It's easier for me, it's easier on the laptop because it's a space bar and I
Mm-hmm.
guess like for me I can have more control, but yeah, the phone's pretty easy too.
Got you. But James, if you need help with any of that, obviously you can reach out to myself or you can reach out to Diggy. He's totally open to being able to kind of help with that. He's always, well, he's not always available, but he usually is pretty available, right?
9 times out of 10.
Yeah. 9 times out of 10, he will stop what he's doing and help you out. So make sure you add him on Facebook. It's Diggy Diamond. And you'll be good with that. Now I know. So last stream we had talked about royalties. If you happen to miss that one, it is up streaming on the podcast. The podcast is available on all platforms pretty much right now. I think I don't know, like 7. It's definitely on Spotify. If you search the Sunday Sit Down or the Eargasm, it should come up. And so that will just be the vocals in case you just want to listen to it in the car or whatever. And we have episode part 1 and 2 of the first one, and then this is going to be episode technically 2, but part 3, I guess, if that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I think, Dee, I don't know if you have anything that you wanted to talk about on this particular one, but what's her name? Candy brought up like business etiquette. Wow, I said that all wrong. Yesterday was a long night. I was up streaming until 1:30 last night.
Really?
Yes, 8:30 to 1:30. I have never streamed that long. What's up, Will? But she talked about business etiquette and how artists should be conducting themselves, which honestly, this is like a big thing because sometimes I feel like, I don't know how it always is, but there are times when I've met artists and I've met their managers, and the artist is either a big fucking baby or, you know, they are really humble and they include themselves in things because that's the way that it should be. So, you know, there's a lot of things that we could get into as far as like business etiquette. Hey, Clutch the Boy Wonder with the host. What's up, my guy? But it's just one of those things that you really have to, if you really, I don't know, as a manager of an artist, which I've not done, I've been asked to do, but I have not done, is because you just don't know what you're going to get as a personality, like from the artist. You know what I'm saying, Diggy? I don't, you know, you never know, like, oh, I want to take this person on. Okay, well, does this person know how to be on time? Does this person know how to conduct themselves when they sit in a business meeting? Is this person open and willing to learn some portions of the business section? You know, there's a lot of things that come into play that are just deal with like personality traits. And I feel as though if that artist isn't willing to open their mind and like learn these things, then you're just going to have your hands full with trying to manage that artist. I don't know. I mean, Diggy, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to like trying to, because the best managers know how to kind of maneuver all those situations, and they're either gonna do it for them or not do it for them. But it's gonna be people that are gonna be difficult. But if you do come from a managerial kind of sense background, like, okay, I'm a manager at CBS, right? So
Yeah.
I deal with difficult people all the time, customers, whatever. And then of course, you know, the customers, they could be wrong, they could be right, but you have to treat them, you know, with respect. But also with that, you still have to manage your team in the same sense too. And then some people don't know how to be manageable. Some people do know how to be manageable, but it's like the same sense. Like you have to kind of work with the ones that are not, in a sense, you know,
Right.
because some people just, you have to manage them differently. So it's like the same thing with an artist. Like even though a rapper, you got to manage a rapper differently than with your manager a singer differently, you know?
Yeah.
And everybody's different in a sense.
But you know, we have a couple people in here, and I would like to get their info. Like, so Will manages Mello, and then
Yes.
Karen is in here. She said that she manages artists. I don't know exactly who she manages, but I'm kind of curious to hear from them. Like, do you have artists that are under you that need to work on their business etiquette and how they conduct themselves? I mean, I hope that they are manageable. I feel like Mello. Will Smith said, "Yeah," because Mello is an asshole. He doesn't seem like he is, but maybe some artists are like super particular about how they like things done, and you really have to decide if you want to take on that headache or not. For some people, it can be a headache. Edward said most artists don't even need a manager; they just think they do, and that's a good point. I feel like artists only need a manager once they get to a certain point, and I'm talking about fans. I'm talking about revenue. I'm talking about getting to the point where they're in so much demand that they can no longer do it by themselves. Excuse me,
Yes.
my voice is dying.
For real, I felt something in my, like, if my voice a little raspy too. That's why I'm not trying to be like so loud, whatever, because something's going on. I don't know. So
but you know, it's 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 I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like artists should run and say I need a manager until they really need it, because I don't think all of them really understand maybe like the pressure of really needing a manager. You know what I mean? What the manager comes in when they have to start booking shows, which not a lot of people are doing right now because of the pandemic. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or once you get like a crazy like local buzz. I mean, and this is just my opinion. Don't get me wrong. This is just my opinion, but managers, let me see what Karen said. Hold on. She said, I manage one sedan. I keep telling him he needs to know or understand the business and too. So see, and that right there kind of proves like they're like, no, well, the reason you're here is for you to do all that. Well, okay, not saying Karen's going to go and fuck all your shit up, but there
Right.
are managers out there that get with people or artists because they see opportunity to take advantage, right?
Right. Yeah. And then, you know what the thing about it is? So managing is just clear cut. You're supposed to manage your career, right? So you're managing someone's career. Now, the person doesn't even know how to manage their own career and they let it all to you, then basically, in that sense, like you control their whole thing. So, you know, if you want to put them in all these shows or whatever, and then, they don't want to do it, then, basically you're in the controller. Like, I'm doing all this for you. I'm going for your career. You should be able to do this yourself, but you're not. And you shouldn't be difficult. You shouldn't give your manager difficulty, sorry, to do all this. And this is where the disconnect is, because the artist is supposed to be the artist and do the artistry of everything, create, make music, connect with other artists, and do all this stuff, right? And the manager is supposed to manage the career, the business side and stuff. And of course, two people have to understand each other's
Right.
work. Like, the manager has to understand what the artist wants and how they want to do business with other artists and stuff like that. They kind of help with that connection. And the artist should know what the manager's doing in the business of trying to get the shows, trying to do the publishing part, do all this. They're supposed to understand. And I think that's where it becomes a conflict right there.
Right. And I think also the personalities play into it too.
Yeah.
Because you guys have to somewhat get along. I don't think I would be able to work with an artist if we have absolutely nothing in common or some similar common goals for them as an artist. With just an understanding of like where they're at and for it to be realistic. I think there's a lot of artists out there that are thinking of unrealistic expectations at times once they get a manager.
Hmm.
Nothing is instantaneous. Going viral or doing any of that shit is like 1 in a billion chance.
Right.
Chance.
Yeah.
Like you might get lucky. The people that get lucky and go viral, I don't know how it exactly happens, if there's some kind of crazy algorithm that we don't know about, but it's just I think it is just strictly luck and strictly by chance.
Right.
Will said, I have a couple artists that are in development, but everyone I deal with have great attitudes. I wouldn't work with them otherwise.
Cool.
Yeah. And that's a good point because, again, Mello, I don't think Mello's an asshole. I really don't think he is. He doesn't come off that way. But, I mean, it is what it
Yeah,
is.
you know what is my question to and then there's like just from seeing all the years that I have. Melo's a great rapper. Honestly, his talent is superb, right? But I never seen Melo any way, even though a manager has to be like the publisher and the spokesperson and all this stuff, the marketer, whatever. Where I never see Melo really like speak up. I never really say engage the fans, because everybody that has a manager, they still interact with their fans. So my question would be, or even to my advice would be like, Melo needs to be more interactive, because every time you play his music, it's always, okay, great job, Melo. He's a certified five. That's fine. And I'm sure he's a good person at heart. But people don't know who Melo McLean is by a personal person. And this day and age, everybody needs to know who you personally are. And I never see him, honestly. You
Well,
know?
right, and so, but see, now Will is doing the portion of it of the promotion part, right, and so
Right.
he's doing that part as a manager. Now, Mello has come into my stream a couple times. He has,
Yes.
but I can agree with that statement. I think but the other part of it is we're in a digital age right now at this point. I mean, no, we've been, but what I'm saying is we're even
Of course.
more, submerged in the digital right now, and it's important to engage your digital fans because right now that's all we have. And so
Right.
I can understand that if artists, I mean, nobody's telling the artists they have to sit in review shows and listen to their music get heard. But if you have people in there that are you're missing out on an opportunity to secure fans for your future. And so I can 100% see where you're going with that. And that makes sense. So but on the other side, everybody has a normal life to pay attention to too.
Right.
But if music is your passion and this is what you're trying to do, you have to make time. You have to make
Yes.
time for your fans, for people that love you. I mean, I do love that he put my name in a video. And he put Neighborhood Radio's name in the video. He showed his love through music, and I
Right.
absolutely love that. But that's just me. It doesn't matter. Like, to me personally, I don't. The artist doesn't necessarily have to show up. It's just unfortunate if they're not able to, because then you can't connect with those people that just heard your track.
Yeah, exactly. I put it like this, and my boss, at CBS, whatever, he's my boss, but he always puts it in these kind of frame, like these phrases, and trying to make me understand certain things that I should understand how to be a better manager. He's like, "Yeah, you came up to play, right? You play NBA, you came to play, but are you playing at your best? Are you really playing to your full potential? Or, yeah, you came to play. You may score 50, but did you win? Are you playing to win? Are you playing to basically make the most out of your whole artistry, your whole thing?" And I think he's playing with his artist. He already has it. His lyrics are dope. His song things is dope. But now what's the other side? People want to know who Mel
Who
McLean is.
Mello
And maybe
is,
if he
yeah.
did, yeah, and maybe if he did that, maybe he'd get a whole bunch of fans like, oh wow, he's amazing, just by doing it live and talking to people.
And he was live the other day, and I popped in. I actually missed it, but he was live. And you should do lives if you're able to do live. Same with like TikTok. TikTok is going to be an excellent platform when I actually get to 1,000 followers, because I can go live and connect with people a lot easier. I
Yes.
really am not good at content videos at all. And so it's a lot easier for me to just talk to people, because it doesn't matter if there's one person in here or 100, we're still going to have some kind of information, and it's going to seem like there's 100 people in here regardless, because that's just the way you got to conduct yourself.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but so here's my other question then, because we do have the managers in here. Because again, somebody has asked me to manage them before. They're like, Holly, you're always on time. The show is on time. I just feel like this would be something you would be good at. But I have no fucking clue what what it entails to be somebody's manager. My biggest worry would be I'm not providing them with enough opportunities to be, because realistically, a manager has to seek out the opportunity, has to secure the opportunity, and possibly also try to get their artist paid. And so it's like, where the fuck do you begin with that? Maybe Will or Karen can kind of give me some information on that. Obviously, right now we probably haven't been booking shows, but I know Mello was performing prior to to COVID happening.
Right.
And so, there, to me, I think I would fit better as an AR, right? I think I would
Yeah.
be better at, discovering new talent, discovering new artists, and being able to say, hey, check this person out. Let me know if your label or your company is interested in signing with or doing something to help this artist with opportunities that I cannot offer them. So, that position I think I would be good at. As far as managing, I don't know. I mean, Diggy, you have any more information on like what your understanding is of what the manager is supposed to oversee and be responsible for as far as opportunities for the artist?
Yeah, I mean, you say A&R, and A&R in a different sense is kind of like a manager, but like more directly towards like I get the artist and I get their repertoire basically of songs, and I be the liaison to send it off to labels and DJs and stuff like that to make sure people get heard. And that's basically like, the gist of an A&R in a sense. They kind of manage, but they're not their permanent manager. But
Mm-hmm.
a manager in a sense is like you again, you're managing their career. So it's who let's just say you're trying to look for shows, and even the artist says, okay, I got this show that I heard that someone that's doing shows in this area, whatever. Now the manager's like, okay, well, give me the info and I'll make sure I'll do the job of doing that. So it shouldn't always be on the initiative of the manager, even though the manager is, well, this is my opinion, by the way, maybe people think differently, but it should always be the initiative of the manager for everything. It has to, like I said, it has to be some part of the artist doing some of the work, because again, and it's hard, and I know why it's hard for you, because again, a lot of managers are, you got to be the same logo. I don't know if that your situation was a local situation or it was like, okay, different
No, it
state.
was it was like Nuance came and asked me to be his
Okay,
manager. And I
yeah,
was like,
nuance.
"Okay, how am I going to do that when he would be, but see, the thing is like if Nuance would continue, because he's more focused on beats now, which it kind of breaks my heart because I love his music and
Right.
everything that he can bring to it musically, but like if somebody that was a great manager got a hold of him, they could completely probably change his life as an artist. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because he's
Right.
just that talented. And so I was just like really hesitant to allowing myself to do that for him because I just didn't know I don't know what I'm doing. I've never had any
Yeah.
experience. I've managed people for over 10 years, like in real life work situations. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that
Right.
part
Right.
is
Right.
easy. I know how to do that, but apply it to the music portion, I'm really not 100% sure how to do that. So it would be like something I would be more interested in like having to take like a class or attend something where they can give me more information so that I can have a better understanding.
True, and also in a sense, and I'm sure there's different ways how to manage somebody in the music business also too. But I think with even nuance, I love him like a brother. He's my little brother.
Yeah.
But with him, he has to figure out for himself what he really wants to do because he's such an amazing artist, and then he's trying to do beats, which is fine too, and he's an all around person. But
Yeah.
then it's like you manage him this way, and then he changes it up, and it's like, oh, okay, well, I don't know how to manage the producer side of nuance, so
Right. It's
like we got to
completely
figure it
different.
out. You're right. It's completely different. So it's like a business plan. Like if you're gonna manage somebody, you guys have to come up with a whole business strategy for like at least, they say 5 years or whatever,
Yeah.
in paper or just verbally come up with a strategy of what you're trying to accomplish in that 5 years. And I think that would be a testament of, if you accomplish what you're doing in the business plan, you're kind of a good manager for that person at least. So
Right. And then the other part you have to add into there too is because when you think of labels and stuff like that, they obviously give somebody some money up front and then they're like, okay, after your first, we're going to take 20% of blah, blah, blah. Like with a
right.
local artist, we know that those numbers as of right now are not realistic, not right
No,
off
not at
rip.
all.
So how do you go about talking to them about the monetary side of things in regard to what they're going to be actually paid? Because then at that point, I would think that would motivate the manager to try to obviously look for a lot more paid opportunities because then that also means they get paid. But
Of
is
course.
15 or 20% too much taking away from an indie artist who might only get paid $120 to perform at a show or even be expected to pay for a slot?
Yeah, you know what? And it goes back to my one or two rules. One, everything's negotiable. That's just how it is.
It
It's just everything's
is.
negotiable.
It is.
It says case by case. That's it.
It
So
is. I have to agree with that. But in general, though, I think artists and managers should be at least somewhat involved about the same percentage with their music as their manager is and the opportunities that they're looking for. Edward said that's why they don't need an artist. There's not enough demand and there's not enough revenue coming in. Right. And sometimes maybe it's just a matter of the manager just wanting to assist the artist just for the love of the artist, which happens a
right.
lot, I think. If that was the case and I told Nuance, hey, I can help you out with promoting your music and trying to get your music on playlists, etc., and that's all I had to do, then I would probably be more adamant about taking that opportunity. But if it's like, okay, we gotta book world shows and do this, I was like, okay, slow the fuck down because I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on. But speaking on that point, because I was talking to Muse. So Muse is a record, like an indie record label out of I think New York or New Jersey, which is
Yes.
you know who it is. It's friends with
Yep.
Wordplay and Dan Sands, I think his name is, who I think is the owner. But like they are setting up, or they were, and this was about like when we were all getting ready to start collabing together. And this is just some random information that I want to put out on here. We're kind of just talking about a bunch of stuff, but that's totally fine. And Edward said, I'll take some playlist help if you're offering real talk. I mean, here's the thing though. Diggy, I think, would be the better one to go to about playlist than myself because that's still an area that I need to educate myself in. Even as an artist myself, I still have a lot of questions about legitimate playlists and non-legitimate playlists. And I
Yeah.
know Diggy knows that that's a concern of mine in finding the legitimacy of if the playlist is correct or not. So maybe you can help Edward out on those or some reputable ones. I know Savvy has a big, good list. I can probably get you a list of blogs that you can submit your stuff to that are legit, but you're going to have to do some research. You have to put a little bit of work in. Unless you want me to do it all, then you're going to have to pay me because that shit is taxing. It takes
It is.
so much time
It is.
to do that. But I wouldn't be comfortable doing that for you until I researched it and felt more comfortable in that particular spot. So that's something I'll work on. But Diggy, like as far as playlists and what I was gonna say about Muse was, random information. When shows start happening again, y'all need to book colleges for shows.
Yes. Oh my God.
I don't
Yes.
know why people sleep on colleges. For one, they pay. You know what I mean? They will pay you to perform if you can talk and get to the right person. But because my understanding is like college parties and when they do all this stuff, sometimes they have people come in where they're sponsored, and there's just a lot going on college campuses that I think a lot of people fail to like realize. Not only that, but college kids are a huge fan base to get and lock in at the age that they're at right now.
Yeah, exactly. Can I throw in a fun fact? J. Cole started his career in colleges, college radio and stuff like that.
I'm telling
So,
you. And college radio is even better. I think that's majorly slept on. You can send
yep.
you can literally, if any college has a radio station, it's open for you to be able to submit whatever you want. You just have to check and see if it has to be explicit or clean or whatever. And they literally usually get like 45 minutes blocks or whatever they do for people that are interested or like going to school for broadcasting. And you can go and play that on there. It's a local FM radio station. So think about how many opportunities that artists might be missing out on, or even managers might be forgetting about at targeting colleges. You know what I mean? Absolutely, Edward. No problem, man. We'll talk. And same, like we can get Diggy on it too, for that as well. But you know, that I guess that would kind of fall into my like artist development whatever, I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah.
but yeah, colleges are something not to be slept on. Hopefully, and the other, you know what else about colleges is, even though we're in COVID right now, they have massive gyms. They have open outside areas where you can take advantage of if you're in a state where it's warm all the time, where you can still perform outside. So even though we're in COVID, that's still an option. Look for venues that are outside. Look for venues that have open area, gardens, somewhere where you can still have a stage outside and still keep the 6 foot distancing and go and perform. You can perform right now. Don't let COVID like just run your life. Just do it safely. Don't put your fucking mouth on the mic. You know, wipe that bitch off before you go and perform. Do all this.
Get that Lysol spray. Go ahead. Just...
Right, because you know how people be holding the mic. They put their whole. I can't stand people that like hold the mic like this. Like, stop doing that. That's not how you properly hold the mic.
Like you the game on a stage holding the mic up.
Yeah, like don't do that. Hold the mic where you're supposed to hold it, which is a fucking handle, not where you're supposed to project your shit. Karen said that's like for videos and photos. Hit up colleges. They will do cheap or free to build up their portfolio. Another good point. You have kids that are going to school for photography. They need subjects. They need practice. Those are the people that you want to get right out of college so that you can be like, boom, I'm going to help you out. Let's get your work up. I got people that you can get, shoot and they'll eat it up, especially when they're still in college. Edward said, I don't know about other cities, but I've submitted my music to a few colleges here in Chicago, and they hit me back with a price tag before playing the music. And that's a possibility. You might get hit with a requirement to pay for it, but it also could be because they might have to pay for licensing. More than likely they do. And so if you have, like if I was to ever license my show, I would probably have to start charging people to submit their music because I have to pay for licensing. And I really don't want to do that. But if I could find, I don't know where the Eargasm is going to go. I don't know what the end game for the Eargasm is going to be. It would be cool if I could get a Sirius XM contract and have my own shit where I just play indie music, because then Sirius XM already has licensing in place. And if your music is registered, everything is a royalty every time it's played. I mean, it is anyways, but you just have to have your shit registered correctly, right?
Right, exactly. And then the whole monetization and stuff like that. So, I mean, like I said, it's many ways for artists to make money, honestly. So,
Too many. Too many. And then Karen said, that's what I did for my daughter's wedding. Oh, she hired somebody from college. Really, really good point.
Yeah, that's dope. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's missed opportunities that you don't really think about, but like as we're speaking about it really makes sense. And like those things start up, you just want to get your name out there and your face out there. So that's why when you do these little things, you don't know who's in the crowd, who's watching, who's listening, and then that's an opportunity right there. Like, hey, wow, this guy was just listening to this. You sound great, and that's how you get a connection.
Absolutely. And then Edward also said, if you have an LLC or an S Corp, you can go to colleges and talk with deans or heads of departments, and you can offer college credit for those photographers and videographers. Didn't know that.
Didn't know that either.
Yeah, that's dope. That's super dope. because then you're also helping the student out, which is obviously all around great. All
Right.
around great. Well, Diggy, was there any other topics you wanted to cover besides the ones that we hit last week? Did you have anything else to add today?
No, I think everybody like. I mean, as we keep on talking, of course, people are gonna have more questions, and people are gonna have like more topics going forward and stuff like that. But I think
Yeah.
we covered a lot of stuff, even in this thing. I like the whole question and answer thing.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, maybe just one time we're just gonna have just an open Q&A. Maybe we can just do that next Sunday. Let's
Yeah,
just
that's
have
fine.
like an open Q&A since we've done our first like 3 episodes, and maybe every 3 episodes we can have a Q&A on the stuff that we've covered.
I'm
Um,
totally with it.
yeah.
You're gonna maybe host your show now. I'm gonna be like your co-host reviewing
Yeah,
shows
no,
and
I'm
stuff.
totally fine with that. If you're not busy on Sundays, that's what we should do. Again, this will be available on the podcast probably later today. So QSJ Radio is actually helping me out with the podcasting part and has been
Good.
helping me like upload stuff because it's been I should have been on podcasts a long time ago. I think like within like the first 3 days, I got 32 downloads, which was great. I didn't really expect that at all.
Wow.
So it just tells me that people really, really listen to podcasts, and I just had no idea. So the Sunday sit down will kind of be used for that. So we can do a Q&A session next Sunday for just all the stuff that we've covered so far, which has been royalties, BMI, ASCAP, publishing, distribution, all of that fun stuff. And then obviously any questions about like business etiquette. It'll just be like an open day of questions. Hopefully people will come in and have questions to ask because I just feel like, why not? And maybe I can get it promoted over on like TikTok and get some people from over there to come over and see kind of like what's going on
Yeah.
and see if we can get them in. But I mean, this is good timing. I think I want to try to keep the Sunday sit downs to about 45 minutes to an hour, which is right where we're at right now.
Hmm.
And so if you guys think of any topics that you would like us to talk about, as Will said, so since we're here and seeing you more, does that mean Producer Friday coming back? You know what? I'm not going to lie. Haven't really decided if Friday is one of those consistent days that I'm going to be live yet because I try to go live throughout the week a couple times. But I definitely could bring back Producer Fridays. Maybe I'll do it like once a month.
Yeah. And I
Uh,
could be a joiner in that too, so I
yes, you
can have more
can.
discussion. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edward said podcasts are big. Spotify and other distributors have been paying millions and millions of dollars trying to secure exclusive podcasts. That's the big issue that Joe Budden had with Spotify, and then Spotify went out about the exclusive rights to Joe Rogan and a couple other podcasters, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
Hmm.
I know there was a big drama with Joe Rogan and his shit, but
Yeah, because they try, like you said, try to get about exclusive rights because it's like a show. Like Joe Budden has a show. He promotes it or he gives it to the executives of the TV station, and then it's like, okay, we're trying to own it, so we're gonna pay you this much to own this show, but you could host it or whatever. We'll give you bragging rights, and it's like, nah, bro, I want that. I
nah,
want it
that's
to be my
not.
show.
Yeah, that's crazy. Mello said Will said me and Mello will help with it if you need it. Oh, for Producer Fridays. Yeah. I mean, I think it would be dope to have Producer Fridays. We have a guest producer on the show while we're doing it. And we can like listen to beats and stuff while we're doing it. And, somebody who obviously has a little bit of experience with producing and stuff can really give like some really good constructive feedback. I'm not a producer, so I can't critique it the same way that I do as a whole song. But I have a really good ear for shit. I have a really good ear. I just can't get the technical side of producing. If I could, I probably would be a really dope producer, but it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna
Yeah, but
happen.
just still, what you want and what you like. So like maybe technically you're not expressing it right, but then yeah, that's when I come in and express it. And even to that, it's good to have two different opinions on how like what they feel about the beat and how
Hmm.
what their opinions on how it should be better or maybe it's just good or stuff like that.
Yeah, but then we also have to get the chat and everybody that tunes in to kind of understand that Fridays are Producer Fridays or whenever it happens. So I'll make sure I try to promote that with enough time so people know that Friday, if I do it on a Friday, it's just producers and beats only. And shout out to the Producers Corner because they already are doing that, Will. So if you want to go and join the Producers Corner, they already have sample challenge that they do, and they go live, and it's pretty dope.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
no, it's really dope. They have a sample challenge that they do like every week or maybe every 2 weeks or something, and then they go live and they play all the beats that the producers ended up making for the sample challenge. It's super, it's
That's
dope.
great.
It is.
Wow.
It is. You need to go check it out. I try to tell
I
people that's
should.
that's where Sound Minds came from, and that's where a couple other people that come on the live. I found that's where they found me from, was in the producer's corner. I'm not a producer, but I'm in there all the time, just like listening to people's shit. So, yeah. But all right. So that was the Sunday sit down. I really appreciate Diggy being here. Karen said I know some producers that I can send your way. So we'll definitely talk about it. I want to ease into it because school is like ramping back up again. So I don't want to like take too much on and like get all overwhelmed. But yeah, we'll talk about it. So Diggy, thank you so much for being the co-host again. And
No problem.
it's the producer's corner, Will, is what it is. He's asking the producer's corner. All right. So I appreciate everybody coming in. You guys have a good rest of your Sunday. I'm going to go relax. Tired, recovering from yesterday's stream. If you missed yesterday's stream, you missed some funny ass shit. Diggy, I don't know if you were there. I don't know if you were there. You were there for a little bit of it.
I jumped in, yeah, and
Yeah.
I went out, but I did share it. So.
You need to look back at a couple of those instances yesterday. Yesterday was funny. And I had somebody raid me on Twitch with 25 people, so that was dope too.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was really fun. If you want to see the raid, go to 1 hour and 6 minutes. It's right there. I remember that part.
Cool. See, that's what I was gonna. That's what I'm saying. 'Cause I noticed somebody. I remember somebody, like, I was watching a Twitch channel, and somebody did a raid, and I was like, what is this raid? And then legitly all these people started going on this channel. I'm like, what is this?
Yes, people will be live with like 100 or 150 people, and then they'll just raid somebody's channel, and everybody is taken over to that person's channel, and they
For
blow
real?
it up. Yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
dope. It's dope. His name is Unstable Pisces, by the way. He's super dope, and we've been trying to get people from TikTok and supporting one another's channels. So it's pretty cool that he
There
did
you
that
go.
yesterday. Yeah.
The support.
Exactly. You got to do it. All right, guys, we're out of here. You guys have a good rest